Christ has overcome the world, so we should be as gracious as he was in letting others choose him. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. This is part 4 of our 5-part series as we're looking at free will, love, and divine providence. In this study, we're going to see how, because of how Jesus treated others, when it came to how he presented himself to them, we can follow that blueprint and recognize the product, God's love, it's so powerful. We can even let others choose to accept or reject it. But before we go there, I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you watching this video and joining change. But if this is not enough, you can always go to the website. The website is changeministry.org. You're going to see this study and a whole lot more. And then beyond that, we love to come face to face. We're on the road here in Texas. Why not come to where you are? All it takes is an email. And you can send that to contact@changeministry.org, and we'll see about going how God wants to bring change to your church or your school. It's amazing that Jesus is the living blueprint, and everything that he did it for our benefit, but he also did it so that we would have a path to follow. And in John 1, where Jesus has contacted and made contact with these men who would eventually become his apostles and disciples, it's interesting that we see Philip now in John 1:44. He was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter, and he does like Jesus did to others. It says Philip finds Nathanael. So he finds Nathanael and says to him, "Man, we found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." So Nathanael says to him, "Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth?" So look at what Philip says. He literally says what Jesus said earlier to the others, "Come and see." Jesus extends the invitation to come and see. He believes in the product. He believes in the gospel. He is the living gospel. And he knows that what he has is better than anything the world could offer. And so he doesn't mandate, he doesn't command, but he simply opens the door. And Philip follows and says, "Come and see, Nathanael, what I have seen, and it is good." We can let others see the God who is for us by showing them the goodness of God in us. See, even back in 2 Samuel, in the story where David had a friend named Jonathan, and that friend Jonathan had a son named Mephibosheth. It says now that after Jonathan has passed on, both he and Saul, who was David's mortal enemy, now when Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, who was the son of Saul, was come unto David, he fell on his face and did reverence. And David said, "Mephibosheth?" And he answered, "Behold, thy servant." And David said unto him, "Fear not, for I will surely show thee kindness for Jonathan, thy father's sake, and will restore thee all the land of Saul, thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually." David had a choice to where he could have exacted revenge and put retribution on the grandson of the king and the man who wanted to kill him. He would have killed him if not for the grace of God. But David comes around and he shows Mephibosheth Jesus. He shows him the love of God by extending grace to him and restoring to all that Saul lost back to Mephibosheth. Now the verse says for Jonathan's sake, but what's not said, but what is said is that it's for Jonathan's sake and in spite of Saul. Knowing that we can invite others to Christ and show them the love of God in spite of what they show and do to us, brothers and sisters, if Christ can show grace, we can too. Even over here in Genesis chapter 33, what about in a family-to-family situation? Beef between brothers. Well, in Genesis 33, he said, "What meanest thou by all this drove which I met?" This is Esau. And then Jacob responds, "These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord," lowercase Lord. And Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself." And so Jacob says, "Nay, no, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me." God uses Jacob to be a soothing balm to the rage of Esau. Now God had already been working in Esau's heart just as much as he was working in Jacob's heart. But Jacob didn't know that. And so Jacob chose that rather than fighting flesh with flesh, I'm going to fight flesh with faith. And he extended grace. He extended the gift of grace to his brother. That's what this drove symbolized. This is what this drove symbolizes. All of the stuff that he gives, the animals and all these artifacts and stuff, we don't have all of that. We may not have all that stuff, but it's a symbol of all of the grace, the coals of fire that we can heap on our brothers, heap on our sisters, even though they may be wayward or running from us or even coming at us. We can heap coals of grace on them, just like Jesus heaped coals of grace on us. Let's show enough grace to give people an opportunity to choose Jesus.